In the IELTS listening test, part 1 is actually the easiest part of the test. But if you're still struggling to get everything correct in that part, don't worry, I've got you covered. Hey everyone, it's Pretty from a DVD, and today I'm going to share the exact tips and strategies that I used to land a band 8.5 in the listening test 2 years ago. Could have done better. Today we'll get started with part 1. We'll go step by step, but if you're interested in the other parts strategies, we actually have a class coming up soon, so please check the comments below for the class details. Once you master all the tips and nail every single answer in part 1, it will actually bring you closer to getting a higher overall band score for the listening test. Let's get started. Alright, tip number 1, know your word forms and predict the answers. In this listening part, you will mostly see sentence completions, note completions, or table completions, which are just basically fill in the blank questions. So what we can do is predict the type of word that we need to fill in the blank based on the sentence structure. And the answer usually comes out exactly as you hear it in the audio. So if you can figure out whether the answer should be a noun, an adjective, a verb, or a gerund, and so on, you'll be able to listen for an answer with a specific word form and avoid getting confused. So know your word forms and make sure you predict your answers. Tip number 2, get familiar with spelling numbers and names. Now, part 1 is all about dialogues where people are inquiring about things, which means you'll hear a lot of numbers, names, and addresses. If you're already familiar with how these are spelled out, it'll be so much easier for you to get them right. This is definitely something that you want to practice since the spellings along with the accent sometimes can be a bit confusing. I actually have a YouTube playlist that helped me get familiar with this 2 years ago, and I will try to share them with you later. So know your names and numbers. So the next tip number 3, use your time wisely. You know how they give you some time to read the questions before the audio starts? Like they'll say, now you have some time to read the questions 1 to 6. But if you're a slow reader like me, that time never feels enough. So I make sure to start reading the questions as soon as I can, even before they tell us to. That way I'm already ahead, but I just have to make sure I'm paying attention when the audio begins. So use all the time you have to read the questions at your own pace. Tip number 4, watch out for the singular and plural forms. When you're answering fill in the blank questions, especially if you've predicted the answer is a noun, listen carefully to the ending sounds. Sometimes it's just a little s or es or the lack of it that can make the difference between getting the answer right or wrong. So keep an ear out for whether it's a singular or plural. Well, it's time for the last tip. Tip number 5, learn how to move on. Yes, I said it, learn how to move on. Here's the thing, when you're taking the test, it's important that you react quickly to what's happening. It's possible that you might miss something because you zoned out or got distracted, but don't stress about it. Just leave it behind and focus on the next question. Trust me, it's better to keep going than to get stuck on one question and then risking the other ones too. And remember, they do give you some time at the end for each part to check your answers. So you can use that time to think about what to do with all the questions that you might have missed. So learn how to move on and keep that thing going. Alright, that's it for today's tips. Are you ready to try it? If you've got any other tricks up your sleeve, please do drop them in the comments. I'm sure everyone would appreciate it. And if you're still having trouble with part 1, please do drop them in the comments. I will try to help you with that. Please do subscribe to our channel, and I will be back. Bye.